That tragedy in Wayne County this year involving a mother and her baby boy underscored the broken system that local farmers and migrant workers live and work under. In an effort to better understand the impact of that system on everyday life, we've talked with folks across the spectrum of this debate. The first in our series is Wayne County Sheriff Barry Virts. His policy on this issue is seemingly simple. If an undocumented immigrant commits a crime, they go after him. If they don't, they leave them alone. With Virts saying working without documentation is a civil, not a criminal offense. I addressed that policy, among other things, in my interview with the sheriff. What differentiates your policy from some of the sanctuary city policies that we see in, say, the city of Rochester?
So the difference would be if a federal agent, whether it be Border Patrol or ICE, came to us and wanted to look through our records or was seeking information, we would cooperate with them.
The green light proposal is advocating for folks to get a certain type of a limited driver's license that would allow them to drive and perhaps limit some of this engagement.
Governor Pataki years ago required the Social Security number by executive order, is my understanding. Our current governor could do the same thing by executive order and not require it.
Do you feel like it might be your responsibility to start on the ground floor?
I don't get involved in the political stuff. I get involved what's right for public safety.
How do you respond to the people who say, well, them just being here illegally is a crime and therefore should require a request for papers?
So now what you're kind of asking me is, are we going to profile people of color? No.
After the death of Selena Hidalgo Calderon, Workers Center, an immigrant advocacy group, claimed despite policies like the one in Wayne County, the overall threat of detainment makes it harder for farm worker women to access resources for victims of domestic violence. Do you feel like there is any hesitancy within the immigrant community to come to you guys if they suspect something?
I hear that from some of the advocates. I have not seen that.
I mean, you hear people who say, you know, a majority are criminals or a majority are not criminals. What has been your experience?
When the Hispanic Mexican population started to really take hold in the early 90s and the mid 90s, we saw a drastic reduction in the amount of fights that we would have at farm labor camps, assaults with weapons and deadly weapons, and the number of homicides that had occurred over the years in farm labor camps.
A lot of that because he says they came as a community. They know each other. Well, tomorrow we hear from two undocumented workers who might soon be deported. Then on Tuesday we have a local pastor who lost his daughter to a drunk driver who was here illegally.